Welcome to the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, Russia's answer to Davos. And I'm joined now by World Bank Managing Director Okonjo Iweala. So what do you think, how attractive are emerging markets now compared to developed markets? Should investors not run away, they're afraid of risk and come back to emerging markets?
Well, I think emerging markets are very attractive now. I mean, they are contributing almost 50% of global growth. They're increasingly a huge part of global trade, bigger than the developed markets. They've rebounded faster and are projected to grow at almost twice the rate of the developed markets. So there's every reason to feel that they're a good bet.
But do you think that high oil prices and rising food prices can be impediments of growth for emerging markets?
Well, absolutely. I mean, this is a risk on the horizon. We really do fear from the part of the World Bank that, high and volatile food prices and poor prices could indeed have a great impact on growth, not just for the emerging markets, but also for developed countries. And above all, what is very important is the impact they have on the poor. As you know, the recent food crisis has thrown another 44 million people into poverty, living under $1.25 a day.
So this is about emerging markets. What will be the impact for the developed markets from rising food prices? Will they suffer as well? Will the growth suffer as well?
Well, the developed markets will suffer as well. But remember that the important thing is that food is a smaller price of the expenditure basket of families in the developed countries. When you look at some of the emerging markets, the food could make up to 50% of the spending of these families in these countries. So there's a differential impact, but that's not to say that the developed markets won't feel it as well.
Do you think that emerging markets can now bypass developed markets at all and start to invest in each other and forget about developed markets and just do shortcuts between them? Do we see signs of that cooperation?
It's happening. It's absolutely happening now that developing markets, emerging markets are investing in each other and in low-income countries. Actually, if you look, let's take Africa for instance. The trend is that most of the foreign direct investment on the continent is South-South investment. From emerging markets such as China is investing heavily, so is Brazil. India has just come in offering $5 billion in terms of investment and aid to African countries. So you look at Brazil, you look at China and India, and you see that a lot of the investment in these countries are from other emerging markets as well. South Africa is a big investor in Africa and in other emerging markets. So that's really happening now.
How do you see China's role in Africa, for example, and other emerging markets in the next 10 years?
I think it will continue to grow. China is going to be a force and a factor to be reckoned with. And I don't think we should be afraid of China. Look, the needs for investment in infrastructure alone in many of these countries is huge. I mean, so you need to look at capital coming from everywhere, from China, from developed countries. I mean, India is projecting need for $1 trillion in investment. So is Russia, for that matter, over the next decade. So China, not only in Africa, but in other emerging markets, is going to be a factor. I think the key is the quality of that investment, the fact that there must be transparency and openness in the way that business is done.
Mr. Okonjo Iweala, I want to draw your attention to one report that we've seen this morning in a newspaper report that claimed that you had meetings with President Goodluck Jonathan and agreed to enter his government. Is that true?
I don't know about this report, but let me tell you, I'm highly honored, as I should be, for my country to want me to come back. But right now, I'm doing my job as Managing Director of the World Bank. Thank you very much.
So you will not join the government as yet?
Right now, I'm doing my job as Managing Director of the World Bank, and I'm enjoying it. And I'm honored to be considered.
Many thanks to Okonjo Iweala, Managing Director of the World Bank here in St. Petersburg Economic Forum. And join us later for more interviews with key policymakers, and we'll bring you Russian First Deputy Prime Minister Igor Shuvalov later today. Here in St. Petersburg, I'm Kirill Sihotsky. This is Reuters.